What's up, guys? I'm Joe, and today let's talk about some new tracks, of which there are aplenty. Up first, we have Weezer with Can't Knock the Hustle, coming off of the much anticipated, much speculated about Black album from the band. Personally, I was starting to think that it was all a hoax, that it was Rivers Cuomo trolling us or something, because the band was supposed to come out with a Black album following the White album, which is an album I personally really do like. Instead, Pacific Daydream ended up coming out with the band saying that, hey, they had all these other songs, they figured they would release them, the Black album was still on the way. All of a sudden this year, Rivers is coming out with release dates on Twitter, and many a time over, these dates would come and go. Without any sign of music from the band. So like I said, I was starting to think it wasn't real. Turns out it is real. The Black album's on the way, Can't Knock the Hustle, first single. One that has fans, pretty split already, because it is kind of the weirder, goofier side of Weezer, I guess, coming to light once again. But I gotta say, I actually kind of like this song. It's a lot better than anything we were hearing off of Pacific Daydream, in my opinion. I thought that album, while it had some, decent moments, relied a little bit too much on modern type influences as far as the millennial woes and some of the instrumentation. This song, while it features I guess some electronics, some flavors of hip-hop and pop and stuff like that, it's just pretty damn catchy. It's funny, kind of self-referential in a way, as far as Rivers sort of addressing the fact that not everyone has liked a lot of their recent stuff. They've been kind of hit or miss back and forth. But he can't knock the hustle. He's definitely putting out a lot of music, doing a lot of stuff. The song has a bit of Latin flair in that hasta luego reoccurring theme there. The way Rivers delivers the vocals in the verses is just so catchy, so earwormy, and just gets in your head. So this kind of reminds me of Thank God for Girls in a way. It was kind of like, it kind of seemed like a curveball at first. It was weird for a first single, it seemed like. But that song grew on me, and this song grew on me even faster. So, I'm looking forward to it. I'm interested to see what they'll come out with as far as the Black album goes and some more singles. But I do enjoy this track, gotta say. Real Big Fish has a song out called You Can't Have All of Me, coming off of an album that's going to be out in December, their first studio album, not counting a little Christmas EP they did, in 6 years. And I've talked about ska a little bit on this channel. I personally still really enjoy it. I like to go to a lot of ska shows just because they're a lot of fun. There's a good community around it. The fans are really into it. It makes for a good time. As far as Real Big Fish, Streetlight Manifesto, those are like my two favorites. But I've been to Goldfinger shows. I've been to Less Than Jake shows, especially with these bands. Real Big Fish's last record, Candy Coated Fury, I thought was pretty great. They don't do much as far as changing up their formula, really. They still have that ska punk sound. But I feel like you can always just rely on Real Big Fish to provide some funny songs, some upbeat, exciting ones, good horn lines, catchy stuff. And that's what you get on here, nonetheless. There's a really good production quality on this song. Everything sounds really crisp, really clear. And it has a nice kind of shouted, group vocal chorus that I think is going to be really great in a live setting, really fun. Hope to catch them once the album comes out. So there's some good ska punk moments on here, some really catchy horn lines. And then, like I said, those gang vocals in the chorus, which really bring things up, pack a bit of a punch in there. Everything you've come to expect from Real Big Fish, not really changing it up, but it's great to hear some new music from the guys. Run the Jewels have a new track that was featured in the Venom soundtrack for the movie. I saw it last week, and it played at the end of the credits. Before I knew they had done a song for the movie, so I thought that was pretty cool. I was excited to hear that as I was sitting there waiting for the after-credits scenes. The song definitely has a dark, gritty kind of vibe to it, and what sounds like to me, being sampled in the beginning, it sounds like Nirvana, Come As You Are. I don't know if I'm right, so don't take my word on that. That's what it sounds like to me, that it seems to be going in the right direction as far as the chords go, and it's just being kind of distorted and moved, which I think is pretty cool, and it adds to that kind of darker vibe. I don't know if that's right, but it is what it sounds like to me. Run the Jewels, I do like when there is a lot of back and forth between Killer Mike and LP, and that's what you have going on here, kind of trading things back and forth. There's a lot of intensity into the track as well. I will say it's a bit of a slower groove, so it kind of starts to feel like it drags a little bit. Some of the bars are sounding familiar. As far as stuff we've heard already on Run the Jewels 3, that doesn't really do too much to detract from the song. I'm kind of feeling like this one's okay. I know I just saw an article that they have a new album on the way, which I'm definitely really excited for. Greta Van Fleet have another track from their upcoming record. This one's called Anthem. It's very acoustic based, very laid back, very chilled out, kind of departing from the hard rock tracks that we've gotten so far for the record. Like I said, I like the acoustic feel, I like the relaxed kind of vibe to it, though I feel like it could have maybe gone somewhere else towards the end of it. Kind of just stays the course throughout the song. It ends with some little bit of added instrumentation, some piano showing up in there, as well as kind of these group vocals that tie it all together, which is kind of cool. It mostly feels like just like an okay track, though I do feel like it'll go well kind of later in the show, in the encore or something like that, you know, a lighter's out kind of moment. So while not the best that I've heard so far from the record, it's an okay kind of acoustic track, kind of folky. You know, I don't find anything too memorable about the instrumental on this one. Kind of just, you know, laying down some chords. And certainly the catchiest and most memorable part, as I said, comes toward the end there with those sort of group vocals. And finally, for this installment of track reviews, we have a new Disturbed song. It's called The Best Ones Live. It's coming off of their upcoming album, Evolution. There have been 2 singles out so far called Are You Ready and A Reason to Fight, that I haven't been too keen on. Disturbed's a band I really liked growing up, saw them live a couple times, enjoyed it. There's kind of a nostalgia there for me, so I still like those earlier records. You know, but I thought the last record only really had a few good songs that I find myself going back to. And this record, Evolution, is supposedly supposed to be their most different album to date. You know, Disturbed doesn't ever really change it up that much. You know, and then Are You Ready came out, which, you know, just sounds like a pretty average Disturbed song. Probably one of their earlier type tracks, just with like a hint more electronics than usual, I guess. And it's an okay song, but it wasn't anything special for me. Then A Reason to Fight came out, which I think while lyrically is pretty, you know, inspirational, and I find a lot of people in the comments and in reviews kind of taking to that song and feeling that inspiration. And I don't knock that at all. I just feel like the song has no bite to it whatsoever. And while you could say, oh, you just don't like that Disturbed is changing, whatever, not really the case. I think a band could change. You know, there have been many instances on this channel where I've liked where bands have changed up the sound. It's just that the song has no energy to it. I think adding some guitar, maybe later in the track, from like the bridge on, some more electric guitar, would have like beefed things up, added to that inspirational feel. Could have ended up being a really powerful anthem for the band, and it just doesn't quite get there. And now we have The Best Ones Live. This kind of turned into a triple track review for the band. But The Best Ones Live is my favorite off of the album so far. Definitely sees the band changing up a little bit, almost delving into metalcore territory, kind of, as far as like you have like a breakdown in the middle of it, really heavy, dirty guitar riffs going on in the verses. The chorus things start to kind of fall apart for me, but maybe over time I'll get more used to it and start to, you know, like it a bit more. It just kind of gets dissonant sounding with the way the guitar is going. But this one is definitely, it does have a different vibe to it. You know, it's heavy like we would expect from Disturbed, but it has that different feel to it. It has some nice groove to it, has a cool solo to it as well. Some high soaring vocals from David Draymond. So I'm liking this track quite a bit. It's definitely my favorite out of the 3. As I said. So yeah, that's it for this installment of the track roundup. Let me know what you think of the songs in the comments, whether I'm right, whether I'm wrong. As always, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.